and welcome back for part 2 of my soon-to-be 3-part series on growing fall and winter veggies in cold frames. I'd like to go over some more of the information that I didn't cover in the first part, as well as show you some of the mistakes that we've made, so hopefully you don't make the same ones. And then in January, when Old Man Winter is hitting us full in the face with a constant volley of snowballs, I'll be back for part 3. Really quick first, I just wanted to mention, if you haven't seen already, I did actually start a second YouTube channel called Some Room to Drum, and you can probably guess what that's all about. I've been playing drums for most of my life, and I figured it's time I did something a little more with that. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out with the link down below, and I will have my first drum cover video coming out on January 1st. Also, I haven't mentioned it for a while, but I do have a Patreon page for this channel. I don't have any special content on there. It's just a way for you to show your support if you'd like. You can contribute whatever amount you're comfortable with, and I would be eternally grateful because that would enable me to put out more and better quality content. So anyway, back to the video. Well, let's take a look at how our little friends are doing in here. So they do look very healthy, but they are still quite small at this point. And there are a few reasons for that, but the main reason is that we did not start these when we should have. We live in Zone 5B in the Midwest, so we should have been starting our fall and winter crops at the beginning of August. However, we had plans to leave town in early October, and I didn't want someone else to have to take care of these while we were gone. So we didn't start them until the middle of October when we got back from our trip. Now, because we started these so late, the plants missed out on a great deal of sunlight, and that's why it's important for you to find out when you should sow seeds in your own area. In August, in the northern hemisphere, when the days are still pretty long and the sun is high up in the sky, the seedlings would be receiving a fair amount of light each day. But by the time we planted these 2 months later in October, the days had become significantly shorter and the sun was at a lower angle. That meant the seedlings were trying to get started with very little light. Since we planted these, the seedlings growing at the front of the frames have not received any direct sunlight. Thankfully, we have just passed the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, so from here on the days will be getting longer again. With a wood frame like this using old windows for the lid, it's the front side and the front edge of the window frame that are blocking a lot of the light from coming in. So building a frame with a steeper angle on top would not really do much to bring in more light, but tilting the whole frame more toward the sun would help quite a bit. So you can do that by either creating a bit of a slope in the soil where the frame is going to go, or if you're lucky enough to have a south-facing slope, then you can try setting up the frames there. We don't have a south-facing slope and we can't do anything to angle the soil here at this point. So I decided to try to make the most out of this situation and add some mylar tape on the backside here. Now, I didn't expect this to stick very well, and it didn't, because a lot of moisture condenses on the wood and the wood soaks up moisture, so it started coming off pretty easily. Therefore, I added a few push pins on each side just to hold it in place. Some gardeners like to use a polycarbonate material to make the entire frame and the lid because that will let in plenty of light from all sides. However, depending on the type of polycarbonate you use, it may not insulate as well as a wood frame, and it can be very expensive, so there's a bit of a trade-off with that. Aside from starting the seeds too late, another reason for their small size is that we decided to direct sow the seeds out here in the soil rather than start them indoors under grow lights. The lettuce in particular always does very well indoors. It grows very quickly, so I'm sure that would have been a lot better start for that. But since we had vacation plans, we had to put off starting them until we would actually be here to manage them. Since it was already the middle of October by the time we could finally get them started, I decided to simplify it by just direct sowing the seeds rather than have to start them inside for 3 weeks and then go through another week of hardening off before being able to get them planted out here. Although, in hindsight, I know they would have been much bigger by now if I had taken the time to do it that way. Even though these plants have been started outside where they have to work harder to survive against the cold, they have been pretty pampered when it comes to wind exposure. A steady breeze can force plants to grow stronger stems and stand upright. You can see that a lot of these here are a bit flopped over. They only experience wind when the frames are open for ventilation on warmer days. But all of these plants can handle at least a light frost. So as long as the temperature is above freezing, you should vent the frames to give them some fresh air and a bit of a wind workout, if nothing else. There are so many cold hardy crops that you can grow in a cold frame. Lettuce itself has a long list of hardy cultivars to choose from. You can easily find that online too. But all of the ones that we're growing fall into that category. Those are red salad bowl and rouge de vert, which is winter red. Also butter crunch and Simpson. Aside from lettuce, there are plenty of other cold hardy crops to choose from, as long as they will actually fit inside your cold frame at full maturity. So maybe not broccoli, but root crops like carrots and radishes are always a good bet if your soil is friable enough. We are also growing mach, which is very cold hardy. It's also known as lamb's lettuce. Other than that, we would like to try mizuna, tatsoi, arugula, and claytonia, but we'll have to wait until next year to try those. Now, as the temperatures continue to drop into the winter, we will probably have to add more protection for these plants, but we can do that easily with a layer of agriculture fabric gently laid over the top. This will mostly be for overnight when it gets really cold, and then we can remove it during the day to make sure the plants are getting enough light. So far, we've only had a light dusting of snow that was easy to brush off, but one of the frames also froze shut. It's always good to keep a screwdriver or something handy to carefully pry open the lid on such occasions. So that's all I have for now. I know the real winter weather is on the way very soon, so whenever that arrives, I will be making a third part to this series. So thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you found anything useful in this video. Have a safe and happy new year, and I'll see you again in 2022.